Alrighty, we are live, ladies and gents. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. It has been a good long while. Seriously, since we did one of these regular old hangouts, it's been a month and a half. Do you think, Tim? At least
Yeah, I think.
I
Well,
am
yeah.
Daniel Brown, and I'm here with.
You already introduced me. I'm Tim. Hello. How are you? It's nice to see my face again, finally, though.
It is. It is. I did. Man, this is just a status update more than anything. We've had a heck of a ride past month and a half. We somewhat unintentionally took some time off and regrouped like to the max. Like we never told you any of this. We just kind of quit, thought about things, talked about things, tried different things. And so we're gonna drop an update here. But before we do, we'll just say hello, hang out, shoot the breeze or whatever. How's it going, Tim? And anyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. If you're not in the chat, head over to btc.com/live. That's how it works every week, at least when we do live streams, or at least when I set them up. Tim doesn't know how to do this, so if he doesn't by himself, it's hit or miss. Anyway, and btc.com/live. It works tonight. We'll get you to the chat. Tim, how's it going? What you been up to?
Not too much. It's been mostly just shitty weather here and a lot of just ice everywhere. So anytime I do go someplace, it's normally taking my life into my hands. So if anything, it's opened my eyes to life again. No, I don't know. I mean, pretty good, I guess. I've been a little bit of a weird play. I mean, just with like you were talking with the show thing, and I don't know if it's probably a combination, or no, not probably. It's definitely a combination of things. But I've been in kind of just a weird, introspective, but not always by my choice. Kind of just getting stuck in like thought patterns I normally don't get stuck into. Like most of the time, I'm pretty good about not just getting stuck in things like that, but recently more it's been harder to do that. I'm mostly just trying to match Daniel's depressed energy at the beginning of this too.
Depressed.
But
I mean, hey, classic advice would be like, hey, never tell your audience, like, always be excited. Never tell your audience you're in a rut. Tell them you love them and they're the best and we're the best. And we get listeners more and more every week. But sure, why not, Tim? Let's give it a shot. Let's try honesty just for kicks. We are
I didn't mean to
struggling.
push it this far. No, I mean I was more meaning as a personal thing. It's I think I did record. I mean I wasn't recording my podcast for a while. I think I mentioned something about this in the last one I just did record that it like
Hey, so
I,
speaking of Tim's podcast, that's Tim's 2 cents, if anyone's curious. I think we have tims2cents.com, right? That should work. Probably not.
yeah.
No, we definitely
Well,
don't.
no.
We definitely don't. Ha! I forgot. I looked that up before. It's some other podcast, I think. But
How dare they know?
yeah, so what is the status there, Tim? I got an episode last week and I got an episode this week, so I'm kind of excited. You might be back on track. Is that sound accurate? Are you going for it every week again? Tim's two
Yeah.
cents?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean I use the excuse of all of just like the new year and everything and stuff just being weird, but then I'm not quite sure exactly. Like it was a bunch of different things. I kind of fall into something like this every. It wasn't like this as much last year. I'm not really sure why. Um, but normally, again, I don't know if it's winter or if it's just because it's dark all the time.
Winter definitely doesn't help. I don't know. It's weird for me. There are people, and this is pretty much science. I don't think anyone really disagrees that sunshine is great for people. That's why SADS is a thing in frickin' Norwegia or wherever. But
Right?
well, I was saying it is winter. You know, seasonal affective disorder.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Like
it.
the people. Yeah. Okay.
But I was gonna say though on that topic, it's true. Sunshine makes people feel better. It's simple. You open the blinds and you feel better instantly. Whatever. For me though, it's weird. Like maybe I mean, I grew up same place as you, Pittsburgh, Tim, in Pittsburgh, with a lot of gray skies. So I'm kind of used to that, and I almost enjoy it. Maybe because I'm in Phoenix and I don't get rain very often here. Like whenever it is cloudy, even if it's not raining, if it's cloudy and like dense and dark, I like enjoy that. It's
Well,
like melancholy.
yeah, no, that's the thing. And I try to fight this because I see it's probably not the best way for me to feel because I will jump like, but all my little like, I've just been feeling kind of down. Like I love that feeling. Like I've mentioned before about being like a hipster about music. Like I like the dark, just slow, like I don't know if you ever listen to it, but there's a band called Catatonia, which is just like sludge metal and then just like why like it's made for like I've never been there, but like Seattle, like that kind of weather where it's just dark out. And
Yeah,
I enjoy that. Like I like kind
same.
of just being like, oh, I didn't leave my like I didn't even talk to anybody today and it felt good. Like but at some point you do need to break that up a little bit. I don't want to give that kind of an impression. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoy that. I like the kind of darker stuff like that. I like just reading that. Um, but it's weird how it almost like what you said, SADS. Normally whenever I hear people talk about
I
it,
think
it's
it's just sad. I think there's
sad.
SIDS, which is sudden infant
Yeah,
death
that's not the
syndrome,
same thing.
and then there's sad.
Hopefully that's not happening because of the seasonal changes.
Every cloud you see in the sky is a dead child.
Yeah. just it's just sad, but no, why? Um
So yeah, so you are picking it back up. That's good.
yeah, yeah, no, I plan on doing that.
I've heard a lot
Just
about you've said in your show quite a bit about writing more lately. Is that still going?
yeah, yeah. Again, that's something else where it's like I'm bouncing around between trying different things. I did on my show again talking about whenever I went to your wedding, I like right before that, I tried instead of typing, I tried writing stuff out on like paper. That was mostly, I probably mentioned then probably just because of a Joe Rogan podcast I listened to and somebody mentioning that. And then I got some stuff done on the plane, but then after it, because I changed whatever I was doing, it was weird kind of getting back into the swing of just typing. Like I was just slower doing that again. Um,
Hey, I'll be back in 2 minutes. You keep updating them.
all right, Daniel's running away because even he doesn't have faith in this whatever writing it is. But yeah, I was trying to do because I've been probably over a year. No, it hasn't been a year yet, but it's also been like spaced out by a couple months whenever I started and then quit. But I have like at this point what is a novel length work, but it's still in a first draft. It's still really rough and it's still really shitty. Um, but I like sometimes when I'm doing that because it's gotten to that point, I almost get not almost. I just get tired of doing that same story and trying to figure out what the person wants to do next, what makes sense. So I'll try to write shorter stuff. I've tried writing I don't even know what you would call this, but almost like internet blog posts, but not that kind of language you're associating with what I'm saying. Kind of just like stream of consciousness stuff, where I always remember enjoying stuff like that back in high school. The like again, the hipster in me is kind of enjoys that this isn't fiction, man. This is like true expression, and that other people can understand what you mean. But it's also not poetry uh, where it's forced into certain rhyming schemes or whatever. Or maybe it's just the shitty poetry that doesn't rhyme. I'm
So I'm
talking
sure.
what?
Yeah, what are
Hmm?
you talking about?
Well, now I'm trying to think of what examples I actually have from high school. It might just be reading other stuff, kind of stream of consciousness type writing, sometimes in fiction, but then also uh, like like blog post type stuff, but not necessarily just like what you think of whenever you first think of a blog post. Like it isn't about gardening; it might just be about somebody's life, like where they're trying to write in an honest way, but it's not it's not poetry, but it's meant to be poetic. Like the point of the writing is to be kind of witty and kind of beautiful in the expression, the words you use, and the kind of connections you can make. Essays, maybe that's a better thing to say too. Essays, but not like super academic essays, which
got it.
Probably are the useless ones. You should probably only be reading academic essays. But I don't enjoy them. I enjoy like someone like musing out getting fucked up on a night and like why they do that and why the other people around them do that and something like that, where you're getting unnecessarily like descriptive and going too deeply into just like normal interactions, because I feel like I tend to do that. But whatever. What were you gonna say?
Well, so I know I asked you this maybe like a week or two ago, and honestly, I don't remember if I remember the answer. I don't know if you gave me a straight answer. But so what is the like what's the status of, like, if you're writing more often, like what's the next step? Like what are you trying to get to in your writing? Are you eventually going to have a novel? Are you eventually going to have a blog? Are you going to try to sell anything? Are you going to freaking go on tour and write the next Harry Potter? Like what's going on here?
If I could get to the point where my Twitter consists of me just trying to retroactively make my characters trans and black, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Wait, is that what she actually does?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if she goes on tour and does it, but that's everything now. She's like, well, actually, it started with Dumbledore being gay, and then that one was like, okay, we can kind of see that he wasn't married, and his brother was like, he's weird, and then after that, somebody was trans. I think, I don't really know. But she likes to use it. I was always there expressing myself and how we all should be. No, I was saying it's past what a novel, because this is also what I like to do to waste time, is look up stupid things about writing. So it's like, what determines, I have more than what constitutes a novel, but it's rough and it's not finished. And that's almost the problem now, is I'm just writing too much. Although the little bit that I have like put money into getting like lectures or stuff about writing, most of them have said, if you're trying to do it for the first time, especially a longer piece, is just write everything and then just cut it out in the editing. So it's not like I'm not getting bogged down in the writing. I'm getting bogged down in that, like, well, if I finish this, then I have to start editing it. And I hate it. Like, I've done that for for shorter things that are but it takes even longer. And then you look at it's the same way with like editing like a podcast, although it's probably more annoying with podcasts because you have the audio part to it. But you just like look at the writing, and sometimes you get depressed because it's like, how did you spell this wrong, or how did you word this badly? And then other times you're like, I don't know if I'm making this better or worse. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I mean, that's just been kind of weird. I guess that's just something I have to learn anyway. But I've in the past couple of days just been trying to do some shorter whatever stories or something to get me off of doing whatever I'm doing, because I'm kind of getting stuck in I'm not getting stuck, but I almost like run out of ideas. I'm like, I don't know what would make sense to do next. So I'll give it like a day, and then like today I went back to writing and actually went a lot. Like I've only ever had like probably like 2 what I would call bordering on panic attacks in my life. One time was in church. I was giving out pamphlets, and I think it had something to do with me like freaking out about whether like what I thought was real or not. But it wasn't even like I'm afraid of hell. It was like, I've been in here every single week, all the time. I've been here forever. It was stupid to freak out about. But I had like a small, like, I can't write. I can't do anything. You're just dumb. Like, why won't anything work? And then I just kind of forced myself to write, and it went fine. So
all right,
that's at least helpful to, and that's, yeah.
It sounds to me like you're saying you're going for a fairly large chunk of work. You're not planning on releasing bit by bit, but
Well, no,
but it'll take time.
it it needs to be edited. That's the
Right, right,
problem.
right, right.
I wish that I could write well enough. I have smaller pieces that I can do extra editing on the side for other people and then put those out to kind of get a gauge on whatever I'm doing. Uh, this is kind of just like I was like I have a long enough story and I don't know exactly how to end it yet because I've like roughly planned it out. I have like a notebook with like a couple different maybe like 10 papers with stuff written about notes about characters, but I haven't planned out exactly what's going on.
Got it. All right. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Because I'm a master. You have to let the characters go where they go. What were you going to say?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we do need to update on YMB status and kind of our Twitch adventures and whatnot, unless you have anything else to add before we move on.
No, I mean, I was just gonna let you vent if you felt like you needed to about anything. You are wearing a jacket inside, so
it is freezing here. It was like 60 degrees today. Oh man. So if I'm gonna vent, I mean, venting and explaining the status of YMB are kind of the same thing currently. It is stressful. It is hard to make it all work lately, but we're learning. We're coming up with ideas. So what we've done, like I said, without any warning. Oh, hey, before I transition too much, I'll just drop another quick reminder. Me and btc.com/live will get you to our landing page. Without any warning, we kind of took a few weeks off. I met up with Tim in person in Pittsburgh in the freezing cold and covered some, I don't know, just brainstormed, I guess. And we figured we wanted to try Twitch, which we've talked about on the show before. Hey, let's give it a shot, mostly because of Trollcoin and because we dislike Google and YouTube. Although Twitch is Amazon now, not much better. But anyway, so we figured we'd give that a shot. And we did. We learned a lot. We figured out the stream. We got the game piping in. The video piping in. Audio was all piping in. Took some practice. The frame rate was crappy for a while. That was a Jesse Harder slip right there. The flame weight.
The flame weight.
Sorry. The frame rate sucked for a while, but special shout out, thank you to I always forget. Is it Charles friggin' Chuck E. Cheese? What's his name over there at Trollcoin? I don't never remember his actual name because I just call him Trollcoin. But he helped us out a ton. He's Arcadium on Twitch, and we got our frame rate working. Jeez. Anyway, it started working, and mostly we started with Rocket League. That was fun. It's a blast. I love the game. I love the concept. I got okay at it. I mean, not competitive by any stretch, like online, but I figured out the controls better than I knew, like a month or two ago. So there is that. And so I definitely love that. If you're curious, some of the stuff I've been saying sounds depressing, but I definitely love that we tried that we learned that, and that we made it work. It took several streams to get the frame rate right and everything, and get like I said, all the video piping in. It's not very easy with all the software you need and everything. And we made it work until tonight. We kind of botched it. We were gonna simulcast this to YouTube and Twitch because they have a just chatting section, and I screwed up. My computer's on the fritz is probably the main reason. But the keyboard randomly stops working, and an external keyboard doesn't work either, but the mouse still works. So anyway, I might have to factory reset it or something weird like that. All that to say, so we took a Twitch break. Really, what it boils down to, we took a Twitch break. We learned a freaking ton. We're way better at Twitch now than we were a month ago. Still not professional streamers by any stretch of the imagination. But we did learn it, because I have learned that in my own experience, aside from Twitch, and I've probably mentioned this on the show. I have learned through the podcast and the website and other things. If you're going to try something new, your first 5 or 10 tries are going to be just total crap. Just total crap. I'm sorry, but they are. So if you want to try to launch with a good episode or a good article, a good blog post, if you want to launch with a good painting, like whatever it is that you're choosing, that you're working on, that you're doing, if you want to launch or start strong, you have to practice. I mean, it depends on what it is, but you have to practice first and then launch. So that's what we've done. We've done our Twitch practice. We've learned the tech. And I'm sure what if we did launch tomorrow, which we haven't, we're still talking that all out. But if we did launch tomorrow, we would still think that stream sucks in 6 months. We'd be like, holy crap, look at us back then. So that's never going to go away. And I don't want that to hold me back at all. Because I also am a huge proponent of just freaking do it. Just do it. Just quit talking about it. Just do it. You don't need a business plan. Just do it. I'm kind of a proponent of that too. So that's our status. I don't know. Did I miss anything, Tim? I mean, we took a Twitch break. We skipped some episodes. We don't really know. Even next week, I don't know if we're going to do a Hangout or Twitch or something else or skip a week. So everything is hanging in the balance as we speak. But did I miss anything, Tim? We learned a lot. Rocket League was fun. We did like 1 or 2 rounds of Fortnite, but we definitely sucked.
I died immediately before that. I felt good playing Rocket League because I got to beat Daniel up. But yeah, no, it was just we wanted to try to do something different. We didn't want to just let ourselves get too stuck in doing one thing. So we're like, hey, well, let's try to learn this. We got to do it by doing it. And I got a bunch of troll coin.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. That a big part of our Twitch endeavor is, like I said, because of troll coin. We want to learn. We want to give it away in the chat. We want to bet on each other, whatever, in the chat. And I love that concept too. I love Rocket League. I love that we can get some crypto in there. Somebody was in the chat at one point, like real excited to get some troll coin from us. And so there are possibilities. Although the biggest hang up, honestly, which I mean, this is totally normal and to be expected and not an issue. Like, it is what it is. It's fine. But the biggest hang up is just, it's going to take work to get viewers or followers or chatters, and especially subscribers. Obviously, that's not easy. So that's kind of where we're at this second, is deciding how we want to go about that. If we want to start small and go organic, if we even care about getting followers, or if we just love chucking our content, spewing it across the globe. I mean, that's kind of what this podcast has been. I mean, we get a couple thousand downloads usually on an episode, but I mean, excuse me. But I mean, that took years to build up, and we never really marketed it much or anything. It's all organic. So I don't know, because it is tough when if you're playing a Rocket League for 2 hours straight and you get like 2 people in the chat. Well, I don't even know if we got that far. So
no, there were a couple people. It was just, I mean, that stuff like that, like commentating over the video games too, is going to take a little bit longer than that to really get into any kind of a flow, because it was most of the time, it was like we were like so focused on whatever we were doing that there wasn't that much of a focus on the. No, I mean, we were still talking. We didn't just sit there the entire time. It wasn't just blank, but there wasn't as much focus on what we were talking about or actually coming up with a new idea. And half the time it was just like, oh, okay, the frames are weird because apparently this program doesn't feel like working.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's hard to hold at least for me. I can't multitask very well at all. It's hard to hold a conversation and play a game at the same time, and then you throw streaming on top of that. It's not easy. I mean, I can't even listen to a podcast and work at the same time.
No,
I'm a programmer.
I can't. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah.
if I'll do one or the other. I'll either listen to the podcast and just blankly stare at my screen, or I'll actually get code done and never hear a word that they say in the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's and then yeah, so streaming, a lot of multitasking, playing a game and streaming. So that's another thing we're mulling over is like, do you have to be good at a game to be a Twitch streamer? Probably, but then we have to ask the question like, well, are we ever going to be good? I don't know if I don't know if I have enough time to commit to being good at any video games. I
Not
wish
that
I
good,
did.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why because again, I don't really watch them that much. My roommate does watch them, but it's like a lot of the professional gamers have streams, but you can tell the difference between them and like a streamer because it's just they're just like they're kind of staring blankly at the screen and going, yeah, and this guy
Yeah.
over
Yeah, I know exactly what
here.
you mean. Yeah.
And then you can tell like people who are doing it more as a show and are kind of have all the stuff on the screen that shows up and everything.
And more entertainment. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess that
more
maybe that's
focused on
good
that.
news. Maybe that means that being a good streamer is not about being a good gamer. It's about being a good streamer. So maybe that's good news for me because I may never be a good gamer.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, if it was that, then it's just you. Yeah, I don't know. I was about to get real sentimental.
Oh, hit
you,
me. Just
you just have to find your audience. No, but like that is especially with content creation. Like there isn't necessarily this whole. It's different than the traditional what we would consider like a business like supply and demand because it's just here's this you didn't know you needed it but I like my whole sales is convincing you that you need it's still the same sales but it doesn't come from the same place. I think like you're still trying to convince them they need it in their life
wait,
but it's
sales?
not
What are you talking about? Sales? What?
as far as you're talking about being a streamer like the streaming what you're providing is a content you're providing your content but the sales of that isn't the same as let me give you this product or this
Okay,
service
so
in more traditional sense.
you're saying selling a stream is extremely different than selling a product.
Yeah. Yeah, and it isn't necessarily just the like the popularity of it can be more misunderstood, but normally it's pretty well understood because it's whatever it's comedy or it's maybe they that's the reason why some of the professional gamers do have streams is because they're just good and people just want to see that and they're like, oh, it's helping me practice or something by watching them. And then other people like me specifically, they come to for the deep introspection that I provide. And but like we all have something to give, Daniel. Besides
Beer.
stout. Yeah. Daniel's is stout.
I'll give you beer out the wazoo.
I mean, I don't
So
want
with
beer.
all that said, Tim, this is, none of this is rehearsed, which our show never is, obviously. But that conversation that we just had is like, that's literally like for real. Like we are in the midst of this trying to figure out what we want to do, how we want to deal with it. So where are you at, Tim, based on everything we've covered so far with our struggles and what we've learned and what Twitch is all about? And even down to like the hardware level, like are we going to need a new computer or with all of that stuff in mind, what what are you thinking? Like where are you headed in terms of streaming or gaming and stuff? Like what do you want to make happen or see happen? What do you think could succeed? Any thoughts? Because
I think probably not gaming, probably something more along the lines of just an entertainment show. Not along the lines, but probably not, at least not exclusively gaming. I don't mind the idea of doing that occasionally, maybe playing or trying to play with people in the chat, something like that. But I don't think that's what we do as well. I mean, none of us are hardcore stellar gamers.
are you still
So
thinking Twitch though? If you say not as much gaming, but maybe like entertainment / hangout, Are you still saying Twitch will be better than Google, YouTube,
Uh,
GoogTube?
I think it's just worth pursuing just for the sake of one, just saying fuck you to Google, partly, but then also just
Oh, Trollcoin's in there too.
yeah, the troll coin. It's an audience again that wouldn't necessarily just come to us because of Bitcoin or something like that, where they could just, I don't know, come for the lines behind Daniel. Or no, but I think there is still like people like talk show type stuff like that just as much as they like watching people suck or be good at video games.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think I'd agree. I think Twitch is. We've said this on the show. Twitch's talk, channel audience is growing for sure. Although, I mean, yeah. So I guess I would agree with that. Like, I want to try that too, which is why we were supposed to do that tonight, but like I said, we kind of botched it. I'm kind of upset at my computer. Although it is, I don't remember if I said this on the air or off the air. It is about over 3 years old now. So I guess I can kind of, understand and not.
Daniel forgives it.
Yeah, I can forgive such an old device. But I mean, it's not a crappy computer though. I mean, it was like $1,100, a gaming PC, Lenovo. 3 years. Am I happy with that? I guess out of a computer, I would 4.5. 4.5 as a tech savvy millennial. If I get 4.5 years out of a computer, nothing to worry about. Like, I'll take a hatchet to it and I won't shed a tear. But exactly 3 years, ooh, that's a little short for me. But we'll see. Like I said, I'll factory reset, reinstall everything from scratch, and oof, crap, and go from there. So I dropped. So, all right, well, that's cool. I mean, that's a start, Tim. I mean, we talked it all out and agreed, like, hey, we have to. Even though, I mean, we already knew this because we were going to try it tonight, but now I'm kind of more committed to it. Like, we have to try that out. Oh, the other thing is the biggest hassle throughout all this month and a half where we've talked all this out and thought all this out. The biggest hang up for me has been just time. Like, I have a full-time job and I have a wife now and friends on the weekends and, vacations on the holiday to go home and see family or whatever. Time is a huge factor for me, and I don't come by much of it these days. And so that could be, I don't know this for sure because we're still experimenting. That could be a gigantic push towards Twitch because there's less. Twitch is more just like stream and then go to sleep, stream and then go to sleep.
It's more casual, yeah.
More casual, exactly. It doesn't have to be edited perfectly because it's all live anyway. And you don't have to write show notes if you don't want to. Most people like maybe like a sentence. Like, the title is all that matters. Like, oh, this guy played this game for and won, or like that's it. Like, no Twitch streamer is writing show notes for every episode.
Yeah.
And so that could be a huge benefit for me. Now, the drawback is because the way we do it now, I used to have all kinds of time, and I had plenty of years and years and tons of hours to optimize our website. And I'm a programmer, so I was able to do stuff that most podcasters don't do. I could get YouTube in there. I could get it so I just paste in the YouTube ID and it automatically gets the embed code and puts it in the right place. And as soon as it's done streaming, it makes some updates. As soon as it changes from a live stream to a finished and pre-recorded stream, it makes some changes and whatever, all random stuff. A banner at the bottom when we're about to go live. I was able to optimize all that, make it fancy, make it pretty. I was able to write show notes every week. Back in the day, this was years ago, but I used to be able to edit the crap out of every episode, and it was beautiful. And, you know, finding guests is a huge thing, and sponsors is a huge thing. And that, all of that is like, it worked. It was great. I had time. I put the effort in, even like totally random things. Like if you copy the text from, if you copy our show notes, it will automatically convert links into like plain text, like links in case you drop it into, it doesn't matter. The point is, I put a lot of development time into the website and into the way the podcast flows, the way it flows from Spreaker onto our website and all that stuff. Now, so Twitch, great. Like you stream and then go to sleep. Like you don't have to write show notes. You don't have to do graphics. You don't have to find guests. The problem is, and this is where maybe I need some input, Tim, or I need to decide if I should be worried. The problem with that is like, yeah, great. Like less time to do a stream and more free time. But what I'm worried about is like, does that mean like we're not going to be able to really master it? Or are we going to not be unique in any way? Are we just going to be another like random bunch of kids that found the stream button on Twitch and are playing Crash Bandicoot? Like is that going to make us less interesting, less appealing, less profitable? Like what that, like, I don't know. I don't even know how we would plan to make money that way.
I mean, again, I mostly think of this just because I'd rather. I don't want to like get, and I think I said this when we were at the coffee shop. I'd rather not like hold on to something because this is my view with how Bitcoin stuff and like Bitcoin related things like that. Because we really mostly were in that group. We never really were too much in the like a libertarian group. Like we were on that radio, but
yeah, you're right. We were definitely more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And we led that pack. That's really what got us going, was the fact that other than Let's Talk Bitcoin, we were pretty much the first and the only for a while. Other than Let's Talk Bitcoin, of course. Like we just did it. We didn't care. So that helped for sure.
And I think there's enough other Bitcoin podcasts that it isn't any worse of a look for us to be starting new in something like two.
Fair.
Just because I mean, at this point, it's flooded with like there's just
way too many.
I'm not trying to say it like fuck that. I'll whatever, however anybody wants to take that, it's fine. But I didn't mean it quite as maliciously as it might have sounded.
That's a really good point, though. Like maybe Twitch is too easy and anyone can do it, and we're not going to make money at it. But so maybe you're right, or I'm right. That was my theory. Maybe that is true. But what you're saying, which makes a good bunch of freaking sense, is like, well, at this point, making a Bitcoin podcast is super easy too. Somebody found the Bitcoin podcast button, and now it's out there. And so, like, what difference does it make? Like, and I think I would agree with that. It's, or at least agree that that's worth looking into or remembering or considering. The other thing, on the other hand, that is true. Tons of people have Bitcoin podcasts, and it is super easy to click the podcast button, and anyone can do it these days. But we are pretty, what's the word? Ingrained? No, we're pretty set. What is the word I'm looking for? Established. We are pretty darn established at this point with 272 episodes. And so that brings you to the question, well, does that give us an edge? Should we be winning this war and like pwning these Bitcoin podcast noobs? Are we doing something wrong? No, actually, no. We still get plenty of views. In terms of the podcast itself, any podcast with over a couple hundred downloads is doing pretty darn good. And we're easily over 1,000 per show. So I'm not worried about that. we are leading that pack because we are so established. Not worried about that one bit. The problem is still there are tons of Bitcoin podcasts, and still more and more lately. Actually, we haven't covered this yet tonight, but we probably should right now, Tim. More and more lately, I love Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong, love it to death. But more and more lately, it's just like all the Bitcoin news. It's like, honestly, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, somebody
Yeah.
got hacked. Yeah, of course they did. It happens.
No, it's the
Or
end of the world, Daniel.
they're forking. Yeah, of course they're forking. Everyone can do it now.
Everybody
They
fork.
found the fork button. Like, or even like cutting edge stuff like, oh, Lightning Network. Yeah, that we were talking about that 2 years ago, and nothing has changed. I still love Bitcoin. Every benefit that it had when we started this podcast, it still has. And
Yeah, no, it
so
hasn't
I
gone
still
away.
love it for all those reasons. But we've covered them, and it's slowed down a lot, and there's not that much more to add. Like, oh, they're going to have a ETF. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. Like, so there's that factor too. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm giving up on Bitcoin, because I still love it. Every good thing that I ever said about it is still true. There were some good things that we used to say that aren't true, like it's free, but still, in general, every good thing that I've ever said about it is still true. But I'm tired of talking about it. I don't know. Am I freaking? Is it bad? Have I lost my drive for Bitcoin? Do I need some Bitcoin Viagra?
Yes, you need some Bitcoin Viagra to get you hard but not longer than 4 hours. If you get hard over Bitcoin for longer than 4 hours, you must go right to your doctor. No, I mean that's how I felt. I think again, I think I vocalized this, but it's just, and this is maybe why, this is how I would like to think the reason why we're not as popular as that is that we're not just doing the same thing of like, well, we hate this. This is the worst possible thing in Bitcoin ever. Like, it's easy to continue talking about something and making it interesting as long as you can take like a really partisan viewpoint on it instead of doing what we've always made fun of ourselves for, which is mostly being like, it's like we're honest, but in a very sarcastic way. Where we're just like,
Yeah.
we do think, where it's like we think this, and you're stupid if you don't agree with us, but it's understandable why you would have that idea, but you're still stupid. So it's like, it's not, and I've thought about this, and I look at Twitter and what people put out. Stop flashing your ring at the camera, Daniel, like you're something special over here. Don't do it. My ring finger's all messed up because your family breaking everything. It's ruined me.
Those were good old days.
No, but the really popular, I'm not meaning like crypto necessarily either, but the real popular Twitter accounts are always people who they always have this one, okay, I'm going to show you this thing, and this is going to make your life all better, and this is going to fulfill everything that's ever been a problem with you. And it's like, it does work on some people, and it doesn't work on some people. It works on a lot of people because it's a lot easier to kind of just hammer at a point over and over again. And then it's almost, as you do that more and more, you almost make it more legitimate. You give it more power because it's like, I'm always bringing this up. This is very important for your life. But as long as you listen to me, as long as you read what I read, then you're fine. You have everything figured out. And then that's where I think a lot of like popularity for stuff comes from, that. And then also combining that you're fine as long as you do with this, and then, hey, look at the people who don't do this and see all the problems they have with their life, and the people who hate me and they're all losers and everything. But I don't remember us ever really, we need to make more enemies. That's probably most of the problem, is that we were never like,
well,
completely shitty.
we definitely raged on like Roger Ver Craig Stephen Wright. I mean, the FBI, that one judge that you threatened to throw through a wood chipper or something.
I did
Or
not
no,
say that.
that was sorry. That was comments that we read on the article. Sorry. Tim didn't say that.
Jesus. I'm not the guy on Twitter who's saying throw MAGA kids into a wood chipper. Do not bring me down with this bullshit.
Oh man. Hey, the other thing to remember though, with all this in mind, like on the one hand, it's like you're gonna give up. Like why would you? I'm not saying we are yet. Like I said, we're still thinking through all this. But on the one hand, you could say like, what are you thinking? You're giving up? Like you've done 280 episodes, and now you're just like, meh, I don't care anymore. But on the other hand, a truly good whatever entrepreneur, investor, businessman, whatever. If you're really that smart, an inventor maybe, or if you're really that smart, you're not only going to be super committed to crank out 300 episodes, you're also going to be flexible and change with the times and keep an eye out for the next big thing. The same way I spotted Bitcoin and told Tim all about it, I'm going to spot the next, Twitch niche. There we go. I like that. I'm going to spot the next Twitch niche and get us into it. So again, I'm not saying that's our plan. I'm not saying I'm committed to all that. That's the kind of stuff we're mulling over these days, just so you know. And so maybe, yeah, like I said, maybe I'm the best inventor. I'm the next, what's his name? Elon Musk. And I'm gonna say, hey, it's been a wild ride. It's been fun, but it's time to move on, kids. And maybe I'll make it happen. And Tim will just follow me because that's what he always does.
How dare you?
I'm ready to call it, Tim. If you are, I think we laid it out there. We bared our souls before the entire globe. So hit us up with a tweet at you, me, and BTC. Let us know what you think we should do. I know, without a doubt, that Jeremy Bennett is still listening to my voice right now. So this is my command to Jeremy Bennett and others like him. Drop a comment. I know he likes to comment on YouTube. So drop a comment. Let us know what you think about everything we just covered, what we should do, what you'd watch, what you'd listen to, whether you like YouTube, Twitch, podcasts, whatever. Just give us thoughts on all of the above. Also, like NY Cartoons is going to be out there somewhere. Whoever, all those people that are listening to this moment, drop a comment and let us know.
We're here to serve you.
No, I'm not serving them at all. I'm here to make them happy so they give me their money.
Yeah, but you can't say that, Daniel. I'm trying to go to New Way where we go, guys, we love you so much. Why don't you now buy our t-shirts? Like that. That's part of it too. Like we've sold t-shirts, but people are like, dude, these are so cool. Like your shirt's not cool. I'm sorry. They're not. They're your podcast shirt with your podcast name on it is not. I don't care how big your pod. If you're wearing a Joe Rogan t-shirt with podcast, you're still an idiot. I'm sorry. Although if you buy a different one, that's okay because I have one of those and I refuse to call myself an idiot.
A Rogan shirt?
Yeah, it says, "Do you get lucrative?" It's it's a quote from a stripper from Stripper Quotes Twitter handle. It says, "Do you get lucrative? I be getting lucrative."
Why is that a Rogan t-shirt?
That's what it's because it was Rogan had the guy on, or they saw it on the shit. Like I think he had the guy on who runs the Stripper Confessions Twitter thing, and actually the shirt says, "How lucrative do you get?" Because that was a question somebody heard asked in a strip club.
Super lucrative.
Gets me all the pussy. Everybody loves it.
All right, I'm going to call it a peace out here. The place to be. If you're listening way in the future, you can find our episodes, or this one in particular, by going to you, me, and btc.com/E272. Maybe if this is our last episode ever, maybe this is the only episode that /live will always work because I'll never update it. It'll be our last live stream. So you, me, and btc.com/live might point to this episode for the rest of eternity. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, but the one that will work for sure is /E272. Tim's 2 cents. He said he's still committed to it, so keep an eye out for that. We'll keep shooting for Mondays, and I'm an episode behind though and posting them, so I'll get one out here within the next couple days, and then we'll try to keep up with Mondays. So there is that. You got that same feed, or maybe we have a unified feed with all of our shows, and then we have feeds for each one of our shows. So it might be the same feed if you're listening to our old original unified feed. But look it up, Tim's 2 cents, if you want to. Same website, you, me, and btc.com. Okay, I'm ready to go. Oh, on a similar note, Zach he's put out a few episodes recently, and I think he plans on continuing that. So if you do need your Bitcoin hit, regardless of what we do with YMB, you can get that from the CoinPod. And that one, we do own the coinpod.com. So go there if you want to keep up with that. All right. It's been real. We'll see you next time, if there is a next time. Seriously, drop a comment. Let us know, out of everything we've covered tonight, what you think we should do or anything. Peace, love, bye.
Bye.